Greetings and welcome back to this channel. I would love to be coming to you today on a happy note, but unfortunately, I just got wind of some information, and I feel like this is something that we need to spread the word ASAP. We need to share. We need to share. We need to share on all platforms, especially those who are foundational Black Americans, those also known as American Descendants of Slaves, ADOS. This is very important, and we have to take a stand. We have to do something. I was just thinking the other day what my grandfather, by serving in World War II, my great grandfather served in World War I, how our people did massive things when the whole world was against us. And I don't know if we believe that we are living in some type of la la land where we have arrived yet, but we are fighting on every hand. And I don't know if you all feel the same way that I do. It seems like we're fighting this group, we're fighting this group, and it's not that we are fighting, it's just that all of these groups are coming against us at one time, and it's like we're letting a lot of things bypass. We have got to fight. This YouTube content creator, I'm gonna call her sis because she comes out with a lot of information that mainstream skips over, or they just show different snippets of. But I was minding my own business, trying to enjoy the day, and this particular content came up, and I couldn't even finish the whole thing. I am going to put parts, or I'm going to put her link in the description. I ask you to please subscribe to her channel, and if you don't do anything else, please share this information. We've got to put a stop to it some way, somehow. I'm calling out Tariq Nasheed. I'm calling African diaspora. I'm calling out Vicky Dillard. I'm calling out Red Supreme. I'm calling out Lord Jamar. I'm calling out O'Shea, Duke Jackson. I'm calling out all of my people who seem to be of like mind in some type of way to come and let's do something about this information that I am getting ready to share with you. Again, thank you, Sabs, for giving us this information. Now, what we do with this information is totally on us, but if you can't do anything in the physical, what you can do is at least share this to all of your platforms. Share it, because something has got to be done. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what she has to say.
So, shout out to Be Easy and Roger Meadows for sending me this, because somehow I missed it. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to cover it. You know, now that Kamala Harris is running for president yet again, remember she ran in 2020, but now that she is taking that spot from Joe Biden and he is not seeking re-election, there's something I need to bring to your attention that happened last year that I don't think a lot of people know about. You see, apparently, Kamala Harris decided to add other groups to the Freedman Bank. For those who are not aware, I'll break this down very quickly. She's going to explain this a little bit as well. The Freedman Bank, it was created for freedmen, those who are free, were freed from slavery, those who are ADOS and like their descendants, obviously, American descendants of slavery. That's what the Freedmen's Bank was created for. There's a reason why it's freedmen and not Black People Bank, right? So apparently last year, she decided to collaborate with the U.S. Department of Treasury and make changes to the Freedmen's Bank. Don't have to believe me. Here's her speech here, and then I'm going to show you the text to highlight some of the changes that have been made. And I think if you are Freedman, I think you're not going to be happy about this if you didn't know about it. Here we go.
So Freedman's Savings Bank was founded by the United States Congress in 1865. It was a bank unlike any other our nation had known. Freedman's Bank was established to serve Black Americans newly freed from slavery.
So notice, once again, she tells you exactly what the bank was established for. So here is Kamala Harris openly admitting she knows who this bank was for. Let's go on.
To help them build wealth and to build a better future. At Freedman's, to open a savings account, you just needed 5 cents, which, as I've calculated, is about $1 today. In the years after its founding, tens of thousands of Black families opened an account at Freedman's. They saved up to buy a farm, to build a home, to open a business. Even school children saved their pocket money to deposit it in this institution. And then 9 years later, after the bank first opened its doors, because of an economic downturn and because of the organized assault on the project of Reconstruction, Freedman's Bank was forced to close. Over 60,000 people lost their savings. Now, Freedman's Bank was guided by a vision. The vision of an economy that works for all Americans and includes all Americans.
Let me pause. So you see what she's doing? Notice how includes all Americans. So this is something I do want to point out. A lot of times people bring up Black Wall Street, the burnings of Black Wall Streets. There are several different Black Wall Streets at that time. But a lot of times people bring that up as another example when freedmen lost their wealth in this country. But that's not the only example. This is another example here, the Freedman's Bank, where all those people lost their wealth. So just keep that in mind.
The vision of a nation in which all people have access to the financial resources they need to succeed, to thrive.
Do you hear that? Do y'all hear that? I'm sorry, I'm just so right now. And maybe I take things too personally, but when you are in close proximity to what has happened to our people, if you have a heart, you're going to care. If you are doing the best that you can on an everyday basis, you're going to be disturbed. This bank purpose, as she said, was for freed men. It got violated again. Now what she has done and what she is doing is she's incorporating everyone. Now watch. Now everybody says, oh, she's black, CNN. Oh, she's black, MSNBC. Oh, she's black, CBS. Oh, she's black. But listen to what she's getting ready to say. She just said for all people, okay? And watch who she's going to include in that all people. Listen carefully.
And to determine their own future. Truly at the heart of that bank was the concept of self-determination. Over a century and a half later, in communities across our nation, that vision remains unrealized. Consider, today, Black entrepreneurs are 3 times more likely to report that they did not apply for a loan for fear of being turned away by a bank.
Pause. Do you see what she's starting to do? Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden it went from freedmen to Black entrepreneurs. So there's a difference between Black and freedmen. So you see what she's doing? Wait for it. It gets crazier. Watch this.
Often anecdotally because they heard about that experience from friends and relatives. Today, Black and Latino homeowners are rejected by traditional financial institutions at a higher rate when applying for home loans.
That's one.
Now, do you see what's happening here? Now she's added Latinos to the Freedman Bank situation.
I got you, sis.
I'll say this again. The Freedman Bank was established for freed men, not Black people, not Latinos. But see what she's doing? I told you guys, she snuck this one under the radar. Everybody see this? Okay, let's continue.
We appreciate it. Keep going.
And this is the case even when they have credit profiles similar to other applicants. Today, many immigrant business owners, including some Asian American business owners, face language barriers that limit their...
You hear that? You hear that? So first we had Latino or Latina. Now she done brought in her people, the Asian, who's going to be able to benefit from this, what she is proposing. This is Freedman's Bank for freed men. I'm burning up inside. I don't want to, trying to stop smoking cigarettes, but I really want to spark one up right now because I am highly upset. And you should be too. We don't get any respect. I love everybody. Let me just start off by saying that, okay? I have no qualms, no beef with anybody. But I have said this in other videos. The Civil Rights Act was specifically supposed to be for Black people only, descendants of slaves only. But because they put in a little small word called minority, that changed the whole game. Everybody fits under that category. Now, everybody benefits from civil rights except for who the bill was intended for. We don't get any respect. People coming over here, they are very disrespectful, including her. And I bid you to watch my video because her and Vivek Ramaswamy, or whatever his name is, they're the same people. Go back for yourself. You don't have to watch my video, but go do your research on how East Indians view each other and those who are or have darker skin. I covered that in 2 different videos. They can care less about us, but they're coming over here pretending to be Black because they're so close in proximity, and all skin folk, I did a video on that too, are not kin folk. And they could come over here, get their hair a little more kinky. They could get into our circles, and we're so welcome. Come on in. Come on. We're so welcoming people that we allow anybody to come into this very distinctive class and race of people. We're like none other. I'm tired of being disrespected by those who share the same skin color or are in close proximity to our skin color. And they come and take advantage and they run with it. When are we going to be tired? When are we going to remember the vision that was set forth by our ancestors? When are we going to realize how important we are? When are we going to come together instead of man against female? We're feeding right into their agenda. But when you get that power couple, that Black man and that Black woman together who share the same lineage together, and it becomes a contagious thing, and then we all come together like they did. That was the importance of the Black church back in the day. That was a place where we could meet and find out our needs. Find out how we were going to move when it came down to legislation and organizing. We don't even have a place like that. And we're far better off than what they were in some ways. Because I could go back to the burning house. I did a video on that too. What Martin Luther King meant during his later days before they offed him because he was coming out with the new message. What are we going to do? Have our AirPods in or our Beats by Dre and continue to feed ourselves with nothing? Or are we going to fight?
Their ability to access capital and banking services. And people who live in...
Just a little bit more. Just a tad bit.
Okay, let's continue.
And this is the case even when they have credit profiles similar to other applicants. Today, many immigrant business owners, including some Asian American business owners, face language barriers that limit their ability to access capital and banking services. And people who live in rural areas, including many Native Americans, often lack access to traditional financial services of any kind.
Now, that is true. She's correct about that. However, once again, notice she's adding another group to Freedman Bank. And here's the thing. I agree that all of those groups, yes, they do have struggle. They do have struggles that are different from those that are part of the majority, than the white majority. That is correct. I'm not here to tell you that they shouldn't receive some type of help. I believe they should receive some type of help. However, it should not be a part of the Freedman's Bank. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When you notice when there is something specifically for another group, we're not added to it.
That part.
When they passed the anti-Asian hate crime bill, we weren't added to that bill.
That part.
These are the things I want you guys to pay attention to. Again, this is not to get you to feel some type of way towards other groups. I love all people. But in particular, when it comes to freed men, notice how, going back to the video we showed before, when she said, well, no, I'm not going to sit up here and do something specifically for Black people. No. Remember she said that? So here we go again.
And let me just say this. I agree with what she said, okay? I don't mind helping anybody, but what do I look like? Getting back to school shoes, getting back to school book bags and clothes for my neighbors across the street. But my own child needs those same items. The child that belongs to me, the child that I birthed, what does it look like? What sense does it make for me to buy thousands of dollars worth of back to school items for another family when I haven't taken care of my own first? That's number one. Number two, the Native Americans are our people, okay? If you really know your history, your true history, which a lot of us don't. However, they have gotten reparations. They have their own land, reservations. They have casinos. Now, some of those who own casinos are what they call $5 Indians, and that's something that you need to look up. It's where people who really didn't have the lineage and the bloodline of Native Americans, they were able to buy into that culture for only $5. Do your research on that. But Native Americans as a whole, they got reparations. They got some method of repayment for the damage that was done to their people. Asians, we support them more than others. They have the beauty salons. I just found a black-owned beauty supply store, and sis has to up her prices because they keep us out of the bulk when it comes down to bulk purchasing, when it comes down to hair and all of the things that us ladies need. Our sisters and our brothers cannot get it at the same rate, at the same price as they can, because they're getting it directly from China and wherever else they get it from. So I don't care what nail salon in whatever city, town, wherever, when you go into these nail salons, we are waiting to be served. And that's why I don't have my nails done. I said, forget it. We are waiting to be served. And every time that little bell rings, they say $100, $100, because you know you're going to get your feet done too. Or you're going to get your brows done. Or you're going to get your lashes done. So it's not like they don't have any type of resources or income coming in. A lot of these immigrants do not have to pay taxes. Okay, let me continue.
Again, with the Freedman Bank, something that was specifically for freedmen, and here she is adding other groups to it. What does that tell you about Kamala Harris?
She ain't black.
Let's continue.
And if she is black, if her dad was Jamaican, even though those are our people too, still didn't have the same experience as we did here on the U.S. soil. We built this country. Blood, sweat, and tears. They didn't go through the Jim Crow period. Nobody else went through that except for FBA, Foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slaves. And even in the diaspora, we are disrespected. When we are loving people, when we show love to anybody who has the same skin color as us, and others are envious, and they take our kindness for weakness. So it doesn't matter that her dad was Jamaican. I don't believe that if your ancestors did not play a role in the construct of the United States, I don't care who you are. I don't believe you should be able to run for president. Period, point blank. Because if she was really one of us, she wouldn't be this disrespectful.
So President Biden and I know that for our nation to succeed, these disparities must be spoken of, acknowledged, and addressed. One of the last actions, as you heard Secretary Yellen mentioned, I took.
And I'm going to say something else. Biden, the one who lied and said that she was a black woman. But do you see how they both got into one another? Oh, she was an East Indian American when she was running for the Senate and prior to that. But because a lot of our sisters demanded that it be a black woman, and just because she went to an HBCU, I know people who go to this HBCU up the street from me who are Caucasian. That don't mean anything because you go to an HBCU. Just because the Alpha Phi Alpha or whatever fraternity group she is allowed her to come in, it doesn't give her that blood lineage. That's why I say we let everybody in, and then we get the short end of the stick. So her and Biden, before he crapped out, They had a discussion. Now, you know, I'm really not black. You know, I don't share the lineage here, but I really would. I was raised in an Indian household, East Indian, I have to be specific. I was raised in an East Indian household, and I would love to see for my people, to be able to benefit from this Freedman's Bank, be able to have a chance. Oh, I can see it just as clear as day. Y'all, come on, y'all. Let's fight. Let's wake up.
As a United States Senator was to team up with Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Mark Warner and Senator Cory Booker and Chairwoman, Maxine Waters, to invest $12 billion in community lenders, which of course are financial institutions that predominantly do business in overlooked and underserved communities.
Now, did you listen to what she just said there? Good point here, Casey. She's going to take this bank from Freedman. So insidious, Obama. You call Kamala Obama? Okay, I haven't heard that one. I heard Kamala, but Obama is full of nothing but audacity and tricks. That's a fun.
I can't even laugh.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one. That's a good one. All right, but notice what she's doing now. Now she's bringing in underserved communities. I mean, that could be anybody, right? Now underserved communities are being added to Freedman's Bank. You see this? All right, let's continue.
Last month, I was proud to announce that because of that hard work and the work of many of the leaders in this room, our administration has distributed more than $8 billion of that investment to 162 community lenders across our nation. That is $8 billion on the ground in communities across our nation right now.
And I'm going to put the link in the description box because I don't want this video to be too long. She might have put $8 billion in there, but it was specifically for FBA, American Descendants of Slaves. I don't like using African American at all because I know my history. But what are we going to do? Real talk. What are we going to do? Are we going to continue to bend over and get whipped? This has nothing to do with anybody else but us. I did a video last week called Land Where My Fathers Died. You have to be careful of a snake. If you allow a snake to stay in your garden, if you don't grab it by its head and chop it off, it's gonna bite you. I think Trump did a poem of something similar to that. She is a snake. Vivek is a snake. If y'all don't go and do anything else, do your research on East Indian and how they feel about us. She was raised in an East Indian home. It's ridiculous. We are now the minority if we're not careful. I don't believe in the census and things like that because those reports are false too. But if we're not careful, if we don't stop aborting our children, if we don't start sticking together, we're going to evaporate. Because there are plenty of people crossing the border. Not only the southern border, but now they're coming in from Canada. They're flying in to Canada and coming in through that way because there's less detention that way. We've got to work within our best interest. There are people out here fighting for our reparations. That's not a handout. I feel offended when some of our own people, content creators, talking about a handout. It has nothing to do with the handout, because whether or not my grandmother is resting in her grave right now, passed away when she was 62 years old. She made it without reparations. My great-grandmother made it without reparations, but that still doesn't mean that a debt is not owed. Whether I get it in my lifetime or not, I'm still going to be okay. But that's beside the point. There's a debt to be owed. Let me not pay my light bill. Let me not pay my taxes. Let me not pay my taxes. and you already know, don't you? If you don't do anything else, do your research on East Indians and their culture. We haven't even begun to go into the spiritual side of what they believe. These people can be casting spells on us or anything. And we don't know no better because we just take people for face value. You got to get to know somebody. Getting to know you. Getting to know about you. You better know I am. What George Bush say? He said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, history has shown me, has fooled us. Now, if they get to fool us again, that's all on us. So I'm telling my brothers and sisters and those who are our friends, if you claim to be a friend of foundational Black Americans or American descendants of slaves, then let's team up. Let's see what it's all about. Please, I'm gonna put her link in the description. Share. I don't care nothing about no likes. I don't care nothing about no subscribers. It's deeper than that. I could care less about that right now, and I don't even have a lot. But I don't care about that. What I care about is us coming together and us fighting to make sure that this stops immediately. Comment below, share, like, whatever you want to do. I don't care about that part, but just share. You don't even have to share this video. You could copy the link and send it out to everybody else. I don't care. I just want to make sure that we are being proactive when it comes down to this situation. Because if she's doing this now, right to our Boule and our Divine Nine congregation, our people vote her in. Oh, we ain't seen nothing yet. That's why this election is so very important. And I've said it before, I took myself out of politics because I feel like it's all evil. But this election right here, you can't sit this one out. And if you do sit it out, I would prefer for you to do that than to vote for this demon who's stealing from you and your children. Have a blessed day.